I will be your presenter today. Let me introduce myself. My name is Matthew Stevens and I manage 12D Model in the states of Victoria and Tasmania in Australia. I started using 12D Model in a consultancy over 2 decades ago now. I have predominantly used 12D Model locally in Australia, but have had some postings overseas in the UK and Japan. Chains are the quickest and easiest way to increase productivity for a user in 12D Model. A quote I overheard in a 12D Model meeting once. While we're on quotes, I found this one here from Bill Gates. I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. Another quote, a lazy person definitely would make use of chains in 12D. Chains are a tool in your 12D Model toolbox that visually allows the running of multiple commands in 12D with the click of one button. It is controlled animation. The user does not need to know that 12D Model programming language. The 12D Model programming language is very powerful, but it does take a bit to learn. Visual programming that anyone can learn very quickly, and chains are relatively easy to debug and maintain. Chains, who can use them? Chain users, so about everyone can use chains. So about 100% of users use chains or can use chains. And there's only about 15% of users I've come across that can actually use the programming language within 12D. And of course they can use chains as well. Chains, when to use them? You've got to really identify repetitive processes. You ask yourself the question, can I do it in a chain? If not, then the programming language is for you, or a feature request for hard coding. So that's where it fits in. There are multiple commands in chains, and there's just a list of them here. And this talk, of course, is about advanced chains. So I'm just going to run through some of the newer features too. Chains too complex, I've heard people speak about chains. Well, without the need for running complex chains, frankly that is laughable. Designers are control freaks and they need to be. We want the ability to turn parts of the process on and off, and we also want to control the order of the processes. Chains are only as complex as the user makes them. Just an example of a workflow that I've heard that some people are using in major projects, in subdivision projects, is they start with a blank project. They then have the option to publish data to a separate project if they like. Then they can use automation through a chain that may help them do their plotting, attributing their data, or creating the tri-meshes. The key to this is, of course, a robust naming convention. Some handy hints with chains. Less is often more. Don't make them too complicated. Put in plenty of comments like all programmers should. Use master and subchains. For instance, here's an example of just a small chain being a master chain and then running a subchain under that. Make use of flow control. And use the option manual command. The option manual command is a great command to use so you can capture a panel without having to run it when you build a chain. Chain set parameters. Now this is a new command that's inside version 15. Parameters are usually set in the PDF file. Chain commands can set temporary parameters. This was done previously by a macro. I think Matt Monk published it at one stage on the forum or through his website. And here's an example where I'll go through how to set these parameters. This is a demonstration on how to use the new set parameter options in 12D Model. 15. Okay, first off, if I was to bring up a chain option, so if I go into I'm in the new design theme, I click the chain option here, and I was to give myself a new name, or new, for a chain, we'll just write that one away. The only way you could set parameters previously in 12D model was to go through a parameter value file where you could go and set different parameters, and then you could run your chain a couple of times with different parameter value files to change the parameters. Or else you could actually set parameters through commands in here by using the, if I just show you here, by using, we've got a new parameter field by using the prompt command. So if I go and use the prompt command, I'll just show you how this previously worked. If I go and click on it, okay, so what we have in the prompt command was you were able to type the prompt message, okay, which would be in this case question. So if you haven't used the prompt command, it just creates a panel for you, and the parameter for result was anything. You could choose something like answer, and that would create a prompt parameter for the result of when someone like pressed a button or something. On this one I won't put any widgets, I'll just put some buttons on there. I'll have a button that says yes, and I'll have a button that says no. When the user hits the button yes, it'll return yeah to the answer parameter, or nah if they press the no button. So how does that work? Let me just write that away. Place that, and then we'll go add an extra one option here, or extra command, or slip back into parameters, and we'll go print parameter. Okay, so this is the old way of doing it, and of setting a what's called a temporary parameter. If I write that one away. So then this is the old way, where under output window, if I just run this, okay, came up on the other screen, but I've got a chain prompt now with a question and a yes, no. When I click yes, under the output window, I get an answer. It's a type parameter text, and it's returning yeah. Likewise, go and hit run again. Click no. It'll be a parameter with the answer type nah. Okay, so I'll just highlight both of those, and we'll just turn them off for now. Okay, so what I want to make use of is what I want to do, to give you an example, I want to create some contours of the existing surface of my asphalt here, and I also want to create some contours of the lots. Okay, they'll have different increment spacings between the contours. So I basically want to do two things, and I'll use the set parameters command to help me in that. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself a new line, and as I mentioned before, we need to add comments to it. So under other, comment, I'm just going to put in contour road surface, just so I know what I'm doing in my chain. The next step is I want to basically, if I just take a look at the command I'm running, so under the normal 12D, it'll be under tins, and we look under contour, and it'll be contour smooth and label. Okay, and I've set this command up by using a defaults file. So basically, if I just flick over to the contours tab, I've got grey coloured contours being produced for the minor contours, and for the major contours, I've got orange colour contours being produced. We're creating the major ones. Then under label, we're just putting a 2.5 text, size text on the major contours only. We're having the contours, the label start at 5 meters from the beginning and 15 meters along that particular contour. We're going to relabel them. Okay, so I've got all that inbuilt. What I want to do is set now the tin to contour, etc. So what I would normally do would be capture this by an option manual command, so I don't need to run this command. It wouldn't run either because I don't have the relevant information filled out. I don't have the tin named, etc. So under this next line, I'll just go under the type and I'll use an execution option manual. And I'll capture the data from the panel for now. And I'll capture the button. That's the button I want to press to run this option. And if I just click on that, yep, that's right. And then what I want to do is substitute in parameters for the function name, the tin to contour, the model for contours, the contour increment, the major contours, and the major contour increment. Okay, so how do I do that? I click down into the parameters, and I just pick the parameters when I want to alter. So I'll pick the function name, pick the tin to contour, pick the model for contours or minor contours, the contour increment, flip over to the major contours, pick the model for the major contours, pick the major contour increment as well. Okay, and then what it does is it's created me a list of all these parameters here. So what I would do here, the function or the tin to contour. Okay, I might just make this parameter tin to contour. We'll just call that tin. We'll call this function name. You can click generate if you want to give it standard 12D names. I prefer to just to type them in myself just to make it easier. So major contour, whoops, that one's minor. We'll go major here, and then we'll go, this is the minor increment, and below here we'll go, this is the major increment. Okay, so all I do now is set and finish, and it's created those temporary parameters. So now, just before that command, I've got to go and set all these parameters. Okay, so under there, under the contour road surface, I'm just going to do an insert, click the option, parameters, and this time I want to set a text parameter. And the first text parameter I want to set is my tin. Okay, so I want to substitute a name in the tin to contour. Okay, so tin, and the new value of tin that I want to substitute in this job I've got a tin called road surface. So if I write that in. Okay, so that's been done. Insert a new one. Again, I want to do a parameter, and I want to do a set text parameter. This time I want the function name to be based on the tin to contour. So function name is the parameter I want to set, and the new value is contour, and then this is the function name, space, square brackets tin in capital letters. So it'll give it contour, basically road surface, it should give it in this case as the function name. So again, insert a new one. Now I'm going to set the model for contours. So model, what do we call it? We called it minor. And the minor, oops, sorry, no, we had a parameter, got confused. Let's go to text, and we'll go to the parameter, and we'll call this minor. And this is the model that the this is the parameter that the minor contours are going into. So I'm going to put it into contour and put in a / because I'm using object tree. Then I'll put the then I'll put the tin there. So the tin name, put a space, and then minor. Okay. And what I might do here is we'll just do a copy, paste. Oops, copied the wrong one there. Yep. So we'll do okay, sorry, copy, paste, and then we'll make this one a major. Same thing with the major, exactly. Okay, then under the new, we've got to set the increments now. So this is not a text parameter. The field is basically, it's a double parameter, so like a real number. So set double parameter, and this time it'll be a major underscore inc. And this time for the road surface, the major increments I want to set up at 0.2. And again, I might do a copy of that one. So if I just flip out of there, and if I go copy, paste, and then do the minor, I might do the minor up here, keep in line with everything else. Minor increment, and we'll make the minor increment 0.05 this time. Okay, so all the parameters have been set, okay, just to do the road surface, okay. So they're all been done. Now, if I want to do now, say, the contouring of the lots, I'll just copy all that. So we'll copy all that. We'll come down to here, we'll paste, and this time I'll just substitute in here rather than road surface. We'll do lots, and the tin, rather than road surface, it'll just be lots. Okay, all the rest of these should be okay, except for the minor increment, which I want to be 0.5 this time, and the major increment, I want it to be a meter on the lots. Having 0.05 and 0.2 would be a little bit too close together. Okay, we'll give that a run, but first I've just got another one just off the screen. I'm just going to copy some extra lines in here, just to tidy this up a bit, just to delete all functions and delete any models that have CNT in them, and also at the end just a couple of lines in there to redraw all views, and also to add some models to the survey view, which I've got on display. So if I just paste that, and then if I run this now, you'll see that it's done the contours on the minor view, on the road surface, and it's also done the contours on the lots. They're different increments, okay, but essentially, yeah, they're doing the same thing. So that was using the set parameter option, which gave us a temporary parameter, so I didn't have to use a parameter value file. So if I had multiple contouring to do, I could do that quite easily. And it was put under the models, by the way, under the contour model. So I've just turned them off now because I'm using object tree, and they're really easy to turn on. So all of these, you can see lots minor and major, road surface major and minor as well. So I can just flick them back on. So it was just as easy as clicking run, and again I've recalculated those contours. Anyway, thank you very much. So that concludes my talk today on advanced chains. Thank you.